time. Today with me, I have my guy, Joe Vegas. You already know who he is, guys. If you don't, he's just some guy that's involved with everything. He has his hand in everything. Yay, you know him as well. He's a guy always posting content. He made a top 100 list recently that he has yet to comment on. I have not seen. Did you make a video on it? I didn't get a chance to watch it if you did.
No, I haven't made a video yet. I was in Chicago all weekend, so
Okay. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for that video. But again, you know, these are two guys that are involved. Harris couldn't be with us tonight. He's got some stuff he's got to do for 2K Labs. You know, he's always working hard. Freelance game, you know. But anyway, guys, we're gonna start this first topic, and the stopwatch is on. Yo, what's up, Kev? Don't miss. What's up, Bear? What's up? So the first topic of the night is the UPA 15K tournament. So obviously, guys, this is, you know, something that UPA has already done. They've already given out, you know, a 30K tournament. This is half the value, you know, this is half, you know, of that tournament earnings. And this is just I feel like a smaller tournament. This is not the Worlds. This is just a smaller fall series tournament. Like, first of all, I just want to get you guys' thoughts on the amount of money that they're putting in for this tournament. And if I'm not mistaken, paid trip to Dallas, that's even bigger. So, Joe, I want to get your thoughts on this because I feel like, I'm going to send everybody to you for UPA questions. I know that you're not the number one person, but you're definitely the front runner.
Yeah, he's here too.
I know.
Honestly, like, I love it. The fact that, bro, that's 65K right there. That's going away in pre-draft just through UPA. That's huge. So the fact that, okay, and this is all going on in October. I don't know about you guys, but yo, pre-draft has been lit so far. Some of these matchups that we've been seeing.
Oh, like, my God.
ASG versus, you know, Empire Gaming last night was nuts. Like, there's a lot of.
There was 1,000 people in there, Joe.
There's like it's crazy. And these are just the little things. We see some of these guys that are really hooping and grinding, and some of these smaller teams even upsetting some of these bigger teams. I love what Revenge Tour has been doing so far.
Oh, yeah.
Like, their content, just their memes. Granted, I know it's D-Double doing all this stuff. We're going to have to work on his crop game. But the overall impact is dope, as well as their little setup, how they have all 5 people on the side, as well as their gameplay. I think that's revolutionary. I think a lot of teams need to start doing this. And I think this is all spurring back from the fact of UPA throwing out these tournaments, throwing out a 15K fall series that'll happen in October. So that means by the end of October, one team is going to be $15,000 richer. This is also going to be a live event. So teams who are scouting, they're automatically going to be like, okay, this person has experience. And those teams that are competing in this live event, they're going to wind up having experience going into the event in Vegas. So even if you didn't wind up playing in that first one, you have experience. And now it just goes to show you that having stage experience is going to be something that's going to need to be on the resume going forward for anybody trying to get into the 2K League. And so I'm all for it.
I mean, listen, I agree. I mean, I think that this event is a great start in the beginning of the year. It's early on. I don't remember the exact dates of everything. Is the signups due by October 1st? Is that what, if I'm correct? You get back to me on that, Joe. But yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this entire event. You know, $15,000 on the line. A great thing to scout players off, and they get to go to Dallas for free. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. But what are your thoughts on this event? The amount of money that they're putting in, and it's also at the Exposure place. I'm pretty sure. Is it going to be at their facility? I think if I'm not mistaken. What is your thoughts on this, Ye?
Yeah, a couple things. Shout out to Exposure coming in. I know they got a new facility built, if I'm not mistaken, on the east side of Dallas, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Something like that. But I think it's awesome that UPA is putting this amount of bread out just to get people hooked on ProAm, making ProAm very exciting, leading up to pre-draft, leading up to the league tournaments. One thing about this 15K tournament, we're going to see a lot of players that have stage experience already, whether it be 2K League players or players we already seen in Dallas that performed really well. Mm-hmm. I just want to see who was going to be the person or who are going to be the couple players that this is going to be their first time on the stage. They're stepping up to the plate. They might have took post-draft off or, they had never had stage experience that's going to step up this time around because I believe 4 teams are going to be there. So I'm very excited. And again, UPA is doing a hell of a job.
Yeah. And I definitely agree that this event it's a hell of a thing. I mean, the amount of money, listen, I joke around all the time. You know, I see Evan Lux and all them joking around about the amount of money that they're putting into this and how, you know, their pockets are looking empty after all this. You know, we really, but you know, it's collectively as a community, I think that it's important that we just keep trying to build this together, you know, and it can't just be Lux, you know, WR guys. Of course, you have the MPBA guys, you know, you have a bunch of people around the community collectively, especially yeah, you know, and staff when it comes to NAP. You have Pat, you have Lab, you know, Lab over there with Lab Rats. There's so many people. I could sit here and list everybody, but they're overall, like, the amount of people that have come together to try to work on this together, you know, even including ourselves, like, you know, not, you know, pat on our back or whatever, but like, the fact that we're all coming together to really put this, you know, as, you know, something that we want to grow, and it's showing growth. It's not like we started this and there isn't growth. You know, the broadcast had 2,000 people watching in the championship. I'm sure this is going to have good viewership. We're clearly seeing this year with ProAm. It's starting to do very well. Dave Fry throwing up if Dave Fry's in the finals of this, man, like, let's be honest, you know, this would be huge. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not always about exactly what players are in it either, because, like, let's be honest, the post draft I don't think I've ever seen a post draft stream for ProAm have 2,000 viewers ever, live viewers. So that's huge in my opinion. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of growth within a lot of these guys when it comes to content as well. They're actually posting their games, which is great. But yeah, appreciate this, the resub, Harris. But listen, when it comes to this 15, and I already said A Fox. I already said it.
Bro, I'm so focused on out.
Yep. But like I said, anyway. But with the $15,000, I mean, that's great. But going to Dallas for free just because you're playing 2K. Let's be honest. I mean, Joe, yay, we had a good time in Dallas. You know what I mean? There was a lot of things to do down there. You know, it's just constant, you know, you got to meet a lot of people too. And these are people that we have a lot more in common than you guys realize. Like, it's not even just video games or 2K. It's just IRL, like, just the stuff that we mesh. Like, a lot of us do, like, mesh. And, like, if you're not really, like, close friends with a lot of these people, like, this is a great opportunity. Yo, I appreciate the resub, yay. But like I said, like, this is a great opportunity for you to just meet people. And even though there's only going to be 4 teams down there, and maybe there might not be as many people, you know, in that exact event, you know, it's going to be still a great opportunity for you to display yourself, especially if you're a prospect coming in to next year, or you need to, geez, man, we're hitting all the subs today. Appreciate it. I'm irritated, man. I appreciate it. But again, like I said, wait, Joe, did you gift the sub? Is that what it was?
I don't know what it's talking about.
I could have been I can't see it on my screen, but like I said, though, I think that this is a great opportunity. The only thing is, I'm just curious, you know, how, like, you know, the sign. Joe, did you check the dates on this for me? Jeez, be more with the sub. Yo, we have a freaking sub thing going. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But listen, man, I appreciate you guys for all the subs, man. I appreciate the support. But
as far as the 15K fall event, when the dates end?
Yeah, when does it start, and when does the like? I know they said the championship was like October 23rd. I think it was scheduled, which is I feel like it's gonna be a little tough. You know, hopefully teams kind of get their cards, you know, in order. You know, again, it's $15,000. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, yeah, no, like, I'm not gonna go. You know what I mean? You know, Matt, that's the best emote there is, man. Listen, but we got, like I said, but with this tournament, though, what are your guys' thoughts on, you know, first of all, is this tournament going to, like, solidify someone's possible draft stock, or is this just not enough? Is this, because let's be honest, in past years, I gotta change the title. Thank you. But in past years, like, we've seen tournaments that have elevated people. And yo, Bear, appreciate, you guys are going crazy right now. Appreciate Bear with the 114 host, man. Let me change the stream title while I'm doing that. But I want to ask you, Ye, can this elevate someone's draft stock to the top if they win this tournament? Like, for all those prospects out there, can this elevate them to be like the #1 prospect if they win this tournament?
I definitely think it does give them a very good chance, especially going against NBA 2KLeague pros and their super teams in this type of tournament. And then on top of that, it really goes down to how they perform in the league tournaments too as well. Because it's a lot of pro-am players to keep up with, especially if you're watching the pros play as well. If you're a scout, GM, or coach. So they're going to spend their time watching the big events. So you definitely want to show out in these type of events, especially with so much money on the line against the very best. Because this is when you're going to have all eyes on you. Because when you're playing random matchups, they won't catch those games as much. Because I know I can't catch all those games as well. And in league tournaments, right now, those are the two biggest things you can do to raise your draft stock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would for me, I think that it's not going to solidify somebody as the number one overall pick, because even after this event, you still have the league tournaments, you still have the Vegas event, you have a bunch of events that are going to come on before this. And look, the way it's going, hopefully COVID gets more controlled where we can have a few more live events. I think this is going to help build the front runners. So the people who are going to have the most eyes on them going forward. And to be quite honest, like, I think that's going to be the people that might have the most pressure on them because they started succeeding early. So people are going to have eyes. And if they start to teeter off, they're going to get a lot of the crap. But it's not a bad thing to come in, and especially if you were somebody pre-draft who is just, I mean, somebody post-draft who was grinding and you continue to win pre-draft, automatically people are going to look and they're going to make notice. And when you think about the top 4 teams getting a full flight, a full, expenses paid, at least your flight, all that stuff to Dallas, the top 4 teams are the ones who make the money. You think about it. So 4th place gets 1,500, 3rd place gets 2,000, 2nd place gets 3,000, 1st place gets 6,000. So that means not only are you getting a free trip to Dallas, you're getting free money regardless. So you're in the money period by getting there, and then you're winning more money just by playing, beating that Final Four, beating that finals, doing all kinds of stuff. So at that point, you're literally just in the money. You're doing everything just because. And I think it's a great event. A big shout out to UPA and everything that they were doing there. Yo, this is huge. It's huge for the community. It's huge for ProAm, and I can't wait to see what comes next.
I'm excited too, but one last question, and we'll move on to the next topic early. And I know that we're very early into the Pro-Am scene, but is there any clear-cut favorite in this tournament yet? And I know that we've seen a lot of these rosters. It's kind of like the gender reveals where you get like, everyone's like, oh, look, I have a souped up roster, you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, everyone keeps doing it, But my question to you guys is there any favorite? And I'll start with Ye, because I know we got the Yadar going off everywhere, and I know everyone's watching the Yadar, but I need to ask you, is there a clear favorite right now, Ye, inside of this tournament coming in?
It's hard to really say anything other than Empire Gaming, just based off no matter who they have on that roster is stacked, whether it's be Eyeball Greens or Splash, or whether it's their Gauntlet roster or is it their Wager roster. So
yeah, 2 different
you need
ones.
Dayfront. Yeah, it's 2 different ones.
Troop, and then you have Empire Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So like Phantom Troop, that's like Splash, Chess, Follow, Jarsity, like all those guys. So.
Yeah, it's confused. So many roster reveals, man. I'd say whatever Dayfry team, I'm not picking against Dayfry at this point.
I mean, listen, he plays well with the money. So I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, the only thing that I think they need to work on is better defensive rotations. There's obviously, that's chemistry. They got to get their chemistry down. But I will say they definitely have been looking good so far. I like Keena's team too. I mean, I know they lost the other day to them, but I still like Keena and them's team. I think that they're not a bad team. There's definitely a few other teams. I know Kai and them. I haven't really been hearing them much on social media, but they're definitely not a bad team. You have to watch out for. What are they even called, Joe? I'm sure you know what they're called.
I think it's like Stay Alert or something. I'm gonna pull it up, but I'm honestly blanking. They're gonna kill me for it. But yeah, that team is gritty. You have Slaughter, you have Crazy, you have Shifty, you have Kai, you have Bash. That's just their starting 5. So, that's soup already, but that's an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd be nice to see Empire Gaming or whomever else, Kiss My Tims. They play a lot of these teams are playing both consoles now. But
yeah,
I mean, personally, I feel that it's too early to tell. A lot of people are still figuring out the game. They're figuring out stuff where we see now. We were kind of talking about this a little bit ago, where the 6-foot point guard is starting to become a little bit more pronounced, and people are starting to move to this, or people are, we want to play on this big build, we want to play on the 7-2, or we want to move down to the 6'11" or 7-foot. Like, people are trying to figure everything out now. So I don't really see that right now would be the best. Like, I think, okay, yeah, you won early. We know how important patch 1 is, but I think that seeing somebody consistently start to win, that's going to be more important. So we can't really name, okay, there's just one main favorite because half the people don't even fully know the games. I mean, some people don't even have all their badges yet.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. But anyway, guys, we are in the final minute of this segment, and we are going to move on to the next segment. So for the second quarter, like I said, we go quick with this, but for the second quarter, we are going to talk about the impact of Pro-Am content. So we've obviously been seeing a lot of Pro-Am streamers, and obviously they've kind of transitioned over into this phase I like to call the YouTube era. The YouTube era of the Pro-Am community is fantastic. We're seeing guys, obviously Splash just got over 1,000 subs. Spam is right there. I know Crush has hit 1,000 subs. Bear's always been up there. He's been above around that 2,000 range for a while. But all these guys are just starting to grind content. I think is he partnered on YouTube, whatever that you call that? I don't know. I think
already monetized.
Yeah, monetized. YouTube, that's what it is. Monetized. Yeah. So he's already monetized. We're starting to see this transition into this, and we're seeing also just the effects of it. You're seeing good viewership that's already starting out. They're small channels grabbing 6,000, 3,000 views. And I know right now it's just tutorials and all that stuff, and some people have different thoughts on tutorials. Yes, of course you should get views on tutorials, but even just Pro-Am videos. Like I saw the videos for Dayfry. Dayfry's videos be hitting. Like he actually does very well with his videos. But I want to ask you, Ye. Obviously, you've been grinding YouTube content, and I know it's a grind, man. I know it's a grind. Trust me. You're out here, you work on a video for like 8 hours or 6 hours, and then you go out there and it doesn't put out the amount of satisfaction that you want. So let me ask you, someone who's been grinding, and I know you're going to continue to grind, what is your thoughts on just this Pro-Am community growing within the YouTube scene? Like, how does this impact the overall spectrum of everything?
I think with a lot of these Pro-Am players putting out content the way they are doing now, it's making Pro-Am cool again. Because right now we've always had the guys in the stage in the park do all the content, and that's where all the viewership goes. But if we're starting to swing the momentum towards Pro-Am, guys like Dayfry, the best of the best, Splash, Crushy, putting stuff out constantly, and now at this point, they have built enough of a YouTube base where they got 50, 60K guys. I'm going to say it won't happen this year, but like down the road when, the momentum starts to draw forward, then a lot of these is going to come over to Twitch and then eventually to the 2K League. So as long as these guys keep it up, especially someone like Spam who's kind of like building his journey a lot sooner than a lot of these cats have. Mm-hmm. I know Slay was one of those people that streamed back in the day, but like Spam doing it now with like TikTok and coming over and building his Instagram and building his YouTube reels and all this. And he's going to be getting into the league in a couple years, and like he's going to bring a big following with him. So it's good that some of these guys are starting younger or starting earlier before making the league and bringing all those fans in, and then the guys that are currently in the league growing their personal fan bases and the league's fan base. Mm-hmm. So I love it, honestly.
Yeah, and like my personal opinion about so in the past, you did have people like Slay. Dayfry had he had something going for a little bit. I'm sure there's been other people that I'm probably not remembering off the top of my head, but like in general, like it's been very good this year, just the growth. Like we're seeing substantial growth, not like a couple like, oh, I got 5 more new subs or anything, or oh, I got like a couple views on a video. No, we're seeing videos that are going for like 6K. I think Pina had a video that had 63K on it or something like that. Like that's good for somebody that does not post YouTube videos. So, like you gotta remember, like these guys have no content other than that. Like Pina had like little games for KMT out there, but he wasn't truly like consistently dropping his content. But we're starting to see that impact, now within the community. But I will say that the OG, I mean, the number one, the GOAT right now is Precise. Obviously, he's not in the NBA2K League. I do have to apologize earlier for Precise. I'm sorry I didn't include you in that tweet. I know you've been grinding for years. I think he said he's about to hit 200K just based off of Pro-Am content. So like, it just shows, guys, that Pro-Am content has viewership. You've heard it from Famous constantly, just getting these guys to get engaged. Joe, Yay, all these guys. We've all tried to, encourage these players to do things, and I'm happy to see them finally put in that work. But again, it's about consistency. But I want to ask you that, Joe. Joe, right now we're seeing great momentum early in this game. We're seeing guys posting videos. They're excited. They're getting good viewership. But we all know they'll hit a wall. That's a part of the content game. You're going to upload a video that's not going to hit, right? You're going to upload a video that's not going to get the viewership you want. and guys are going to slow down. What advice can you give these guys to make sure that they keep going forward and not stop what they're doing?
The biggest part, personally, I think one is just patience, consistency, and knowing that, and something I've talked to Famous about tremendously. Not every video is going to be a banger. Not every video is going to hit and really trigger the algorithm. There's going to be some videos that are going to perform better than others. The whole point is to learn from each video. So if you know like something that's working, do what you got to do instead of just like, okay, like, oh, this one sucked, I'm just going to give up on it. You have to understand what's going on. Just like with marketing and anything, you have to figure out what your fan base wants, what your niche is. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. You can't burn yourself out. It's only the end of September, October, the game just came out. If you're uploading every day, are you really sure that you're going to be able to keep up that sort of volume where you can post every day? Or is maybe like, 2 to 3 times a week better, where you can preload content, you can have it set, you can have all kinds of things. And the biggest thing is people in this community learning the algorithm, learning all the different tips and tricks to really boost themselves up, because some people aren't really using everything yet. And that's the crazy part, is like there's so many resources that people haven't really tapped into. I personally love the fact that everybody's doing it, because people, at the end of the day, we forget that our community is a lot bigger than what it is. The community is not just the Twitter community. The community is not just the competitive community. The competitive community makes up a fraction of what the 2K community truly is. Most people are the casual players that, okay, we're going to play My Career when we get home from work. Like, we just have a little bit to do. Maybe we'll hop on Park with some friends or run some rec with friends. And they're not looking to play competitively, or they don't have the time or, patience to do stuff, but they want to learn. And if you're teaching them, they're going to be willing, because those are the people Googling. I know me personally, I do that. I don't know about everybody else, but I Google things so much. Like, okay, how do I do this? How do I make this move? How do I beat this, whatever. Like, beat this game, et cetera, whatever. I'm trying to figure out all the information I can. So if us and the people in this community as professionals, as the top of the line, we can break it down and we can make it to bare bones, where we can make it very easy to understand, where that the casuals are able to enjoy it, they're able to understand and grow and learn from it. That's how you build a fan base. That's how you really do it. When you interact with this, we can't just get caught up in the, oh, it's just the ProAm community, oh, it's just a community like this. Like, there's no reason that we don't have players connecting with some of the content creators out here. Yeah. There's tremendous amount of content creators in the space. You can go run a party. You can go make a video. You can go do kinds of stuff like this. It's easy. And if you have the resources, if you have the personnel, or if you just reach out to somebody in the community like most other people do, you can find a lot more success. It's all about you asking or taking the time and effort to find that thing. But like Ye said before, this is beneficial for the community. If you start to build that following, like we've seen with your Marios, like we've seen with, Milo, with the international guys, like we've seen with Splash, etc. All of these big name prospect Chalks, all of their fan bases, they're loyal. They follow them to the 2K League stream. They're going to watch them play. They're going to do all kinds of stuff like that. And teams are going to love that. If you have a huge brand, if you have a huge following, they know that, okay, this person, we can sell this person as the leader of our content, the face of our franchise, so that sponsorships, they're going to throw themselves at them and they're going to pay more money because they know that this person is going to bring in their community. And we don't value how much our personal communities really matter, because those are the true loyal ones at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Joe, you bring up a lot of great points. I think you bring up a lot of great advice. And listen, I don't want to be the guy to send everyone to Joe, because Frank does that all the time to Joe. And I'm just like, listen, Joe's one man, okay? He can only help so many people. He does a great job. But again, if you guys ever need advice, listen, if you guys need advice, you need help on things, or you have questions, you can go to Yay Not Gaming. He was not ready for that one. He's like, what? No. But listen, again, like I said, this is the YouTube era for the pro community. I mean, I think it's a great time. I mean, I think, this is a great game. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, I think NBA 2K22, it's a W. It's a really good game. And I think it's also appealing to the eye. And the fact that you have a combination of a good game, it's watchable, and you have the pros putting out content when it's possibly this. Again, guys, right now it's early to say this. I know I tweeted it out and I got people saying it's too early, champ. This is a W. I said it was a W before it came out. And I think that it's going to be a W when it comes to all time. And what I mean by that is I think that this will be the greatest 2K of all time. People will not agree. No, people will not agree with me right now. But I will tell you right now, from a year from now, if we get a 2K that is slightly downward, people will look back on this 2K and be like, man, this is one of the greatest 2Ks of all time, if not the greatest. And the fact that you are developing content here and making content here, it leaves your imprint and it grows you down the line. I was around when Mario did. I mean, I'm sorry. I know my Mario annoying. I'm annoying. Back when annoying had less than 1,000 viewers. And if you guys don't know, annoying holds like 6,000, 7,000 viewers. This man is just top of the line. I remember the days when Los Polos was kind of, he was starting out. I remember back when Nadex was starting out. A lot of these guys, I remember where they came from, and that's why I understand how it works and the progression and the fact that anybody can blow up. I believe 3 years from now, Splash will be holding 1,000 viewers in his stream. That's, I believe if Dave Fry stays with what he's doing, he'll be holding a couple thousand viewers in his stream. Because I'm telling you right now, I see it in them. They have the personalities. I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest difference between them and all those former streamers who were entertainers, guess what? They're really good at the game. So you get the people who are a combination that they're dogs at the game, and then you get they're entertaining. You can't ask for anything better. And the fact that they're also in a verified NBA2K league, that's an esport that's backed up by the NBA, the sky's the limit. So I'm just saying that we'll look back on this, guys, and down the line we're like, holy crap, this really kind of helped the league take off. And again, I know that I'm sitting here, I'm pro league, everything go, rah rah rah, they will be downs, but I just think that this game's impact overall on a lot of these guys' careers is going to be huge for not only while they're in the league, but after they're outside the league. You see a lot of guys. I don't know if any of you guys watch Call of Duty. Formal, one of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time, recently retired from the COD League, and he's moving on to content. It's a great step for him because he said he's done with competitive gaming. He wants to get into the content scene, and he's growing. You know what I mean? You look at guys like Nadeshot, who Nadeshot started out in Call of Duty, and he owns an esports organization. You know what I mean? He's huge. He's the content guru. You know what I mean? He owns a brand. So I'm just saying that these 2K League guys and even just ProAm guys in general, you guys have to realize that the sky is the limit in esports. We are the infancy of esports, and you guys are the beginning of it. And normally what happens when you come in the beginning, it's a little easier compared to when you get down the line. It's going to be a lot more competitive to get into the esports scene because you're going to have so many people pushing towards it once it's good, right? That's anything in life, right? When you're good at, let's say you're an NBA player, right? An NBA player, they're average, everyone's just all right, he's okay at basketball, but when he makes the pros, everyone wants to be his friend. You know what I mean? When he makes it big, everyone wants to be his friend. Oh, remember that time I did something for you? I think that the 2K League is going to blow up. It's just a matter of time. Patience, consistency, and just continuing to make content. But I want to ask you guys, who do you guys think has the best content right now within the pro community that is from the NBA2K League?
I'm not gonna lie. First off, we have to say, did you peep that he pretty much made a Mike Jones reference?
No, I'll skip past it.
I'm just
they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me.
Exactly. But that's really what it is. But I'm sorry. Continue, please. Champ, whatever.
Listen, I asked you guys one question. We have the 2-minute warning. Who is making the best content within the pro community? Yay, go.
I would have said spam, but you said out of the people who are in the 2K League, right?
Yes.
Shoot, I'll have to go with Crush at the moment. Then I'll just because he's a lockdown, and I will follow that man with my life and trust that man with my life when it comes to lockdown content. So he's pretty much the only guy I've been watching, and he's gonna do a vlog for the All-Star game, and I think he has to be a little more consistent. But my personal favorite is Crush.
I like it. And listen, Joe, outside of a T-Wolves player, who's making the best content?
I wasn't
in the
even gonna
NBA
say
2K League
Bear. I'm
play?
not gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna say Bear. I would honestly have to say Splash. Splash is killing it because he's not only uploading my team content, but he's also uploading build videos, jump shot videos, all kinds of. This man is actually killing it. And the one thing that held Splash back from being a true superstar is that content. We can't forget about Chalk. Chalk's been putting up numbers, but if we're just bringing it to people who are up and coming, I'd have to give it to Splash right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when it comes to pro-am content, Chalk doesn't really make pro-am content. He makes more park content and like tutorial. Like, again, he's not like I guess he does kind of because like technically they're all making tutorials and stuff like that. But I mean, I think that mine has to be my guy, Bubble Talk. Listen, man, I don't know if you guys have checked out Bubble Talk. It's on Dave Fry's YouTube channel. He also broadcasts on Twitch. I think every Tuesday he says at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys have not checked out Dave Fry's content with Bubble Talk, it's a great segment. I love watching it. I think it's entertaining. He uploads them to YouTube as well. But I think overall, Dave Fry's content is great. I mean, I think that, we have a great era. But anyway, guys, we are past the marker. Look at that. I just went past the 30-minute marker because I went on my onslaught. But we're going to move on to the next topic. Listen, I get a penalty, all right? But anyway, we're going to go to the next, what do you call it? The next topic, guys, you know what I'm trying to say. And that is about NBA 2K League expansion. So, obviously, guys, we're in this weird time where we don't, is there going to be expansion teams? Is there not going to be expansion teams? You got people like whispering in DMs, yeah, there's 3, there's 4, there's 1, there's 2. We don't freaking know. Okay? And listen, there's people everywhere that have different numbers and different sources and different rumors. But at this point, we do not know if we will have an expansion team. And this will be back-to-back years if this is to happen. Again, last year we had COVID, which is understandable. I think that we were literally in a global pandemic, and we still are in that pandemic. So it's not like one day we flicked our fingers and it's all done. We are seeing progress. Obviously, the 2K League got back in studio. We saw the energy. We saw the difference. We got the All-Star game in New York City this weekend. It's going to be, and there's also fans that are going to be allowed to go there as well. But I need to ask you guys, if we are to have no expansion teams this year, what impact will this have on the NBA 2K League? And what I mean by that, it's not necessarily a negative impact. I'm saying when it comes to teams, like we saw that the fact that the Wizards were able to bring back pretty much all their players, right? And they won a title. They went back to back. The Jazz basically were able to bring all their players back. Obviously they traded back for Lottie, all that stuff. But like, what impact does this have on just the competitive scene of the 2K League? Are we looking at a three-peat for the Wizards if there's no expansion team? And I'm going to start with my guy Joe here.
Thought you were gonna talk about Ye. Ye over here just smiling, biting his lip. Who you texting, Ye? Who you texting?
I'm chilling.
I'm like, who got you smiling like that, Ye? Okay.
Got me smiling like that. You got me smiling being on time. The segment switches.
Bro, you're right. Honestly, that's the key to my heart, punctuality, and we know that doesn't happen with Champ much. But getting on to it, talking about that, I think talking about overall, we're not going to talk about overall league impact, Ruben, because of course that can just be like a doomsday scenario that we don't want to even get into. We'll just go to team impact. Personally, I think it makes trying to make it into the league a lot more difficult because they're the same thing. We had an issue with spots last year. We're going to have an issue with spots this year. Certain spots aren't going to be there. If we're going off the Champ's board, as far as his protections and retainments, I personally that's his vision. But it's going to be it's
a great vision. Everything I do is great, okay? Everything I do is great, okay?
Oh, yeah, get your mans, bro.
Listen, dude, everything I do is great, all right?
We'll wait to get him on our platform.
Yeah. Where we got the mute button, we got the control. Let me stop. But
God,
we love Champ here. We love Champ here. As my camera focuses again. But I would personally say that it makes people trying to make it into the league, it makes it a lot more difficult because there are more teams that need, as we can see, Champ's board. There's not going to be many point guard spots. While we know that there might be some point guards to move over to play shooting guard, but you can see right here, it's a very limited role. It's a very limited selection because the people that aren't getting retained, there's a lot of strong teams. The only thing that I think is great is the fact that we will have consistency. So you can have a team like the Wizards bring back that core and potentially go for that three-peat, which is something that's never happened before. It would be kind of great to see. And they're still going to have to worry about not bringing back B Rich because B Rich has a higher value now. They have a late first round pick. You'd have to swing on B Rich in the first if B Rich doesn't, command a first round value for it to bring him back. If they want to bring back LeBron, whoever they want to do. But just as far as that consistency, I think players and teams do better with having that year in, year out consistency. That's just me personally. That's how I look at it. But it's going to be tough for a lot of those people trying to get in, except the top of the top.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, go ahead.
I will say, I agree with Joe. It's going to be tough to get more players in. I think the 2K League has done a great job in terms of like adjusting to the pandemic, being able to go remote. Saw improvement in the broadcast. It got some criticism, here and there for some of the days they had it on, but I think they did a good job this year. And then being able to show it, bring the playoffs back in person, and we saw how much better and how electric it was to be on stage again. So hopefully, even without retainment, we were able to get back on stage. But in terms of like the impact we'll make on the players, it definitely makes it more tough to get in at the PG and center spot. Even if Champ is wrong on this, it won't be that many PG and center spots available. So it's definitely going to impact how these players go about going into like league tournaments and combine and what they want to go in for. And then at the same time, it makes it tough for people like us who are trying to get jobs that it won't be as many jobs available because without expansion too as well. But I think the league itself is going to be able to adjust and bring us a sleeker broadcast. I think we're going to see a lot more improvement being brought to the forefront to make the league exciting still. But I won't freak out if there is no expansion.
Yeah. I mean, listen, my thoughts on this, okay? I'm going to touch on all things. I'm going to say my opinion on the league impact. Joe and Ye don't have to do that. I'm going to kind of say my thoughts on it. But I'm going to start with the team basis. When it comes to teams, it completely changes the way they're going to retain. And I think that they should let the organizations know if there is or not going to be teams before they actually decide to retain people, because I think that last year with the Wizards, I think that them I felt like it kind of messed up the way they were retaining their roster a little because they didn't know exactly if there was an expansion team or not. And it kind of I don't know, they kind of finagled some things and kind of made I felt like they kind of messed up a little on things, and they could have gone in, if they would have known there was expansion teams or if there wasn't expansion teams. I feel like there a lot of retentions would have been a little different because they would have been like, all right, just bring this guy back, do this, maybe make this trade so we can bring all 5 back or something. I just think that would have been more of an impact if teams would have known ahead of time. But I mean, I just think, all right, Ruben. All right. Anyway, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by a Ruben. Listen, it's something about Ruben, these Rubensteins and Rubens, they always like to, come at me and say crazy things. But
I mean, look, not without reason. I'm just saying, champ. It's called consistency for a reason.
Ruben, man, I'm still waiting for that show. But anyway, as I was saying, when it comes to teams, I mean, we have a lot of limited spots positions. Point guard positions, I've already talked on the timeline that there's going to be point guard positions that are opening up that obviously aren't shown here on my retainment board. I mean, I've talked about it on stream, but when it comes to expansion, that adds 2 new PG jobs in the league, essentially, and that, and that adds 2K League jobs. That adds, that adds more team, just more growth to the league. So if we have no teams, I think that we're going to see a lot of these organizations retain a lot differently. There's going to be a lot of trading going on that wouldn't happen if there was expansion teams. We're going to see this is going to be a crazy offseason with trading. And that will be something that we'll talk about more next week. Just our thoughts on trading and stuff like that, possible trading. But this will be a crazy offseason, when it comes to moving stars. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors in general, but no expansion teams. I mean, it's tough. I don't think it's anything the league is doing wrong. I don't think it's anything about the growth of the league. I just think that with the financial situation right now for a lot of esports organizations, it's just not a good investment right now because it's a dangerous time. Like we're seeing businesses going out of, we're seeing businesses across the nation going out of business. We're seeing people being evicted from homes. This is a time where everybody keeps their money close to them instead of just throwing it out. And I'm not saying that throwing your money out to the 2K League is essentially just like burning money, but like when it comes to esports, like like investing is all about timing. And back when I was in the studio, back in the early seasons, there was esports organizations that would visit the studio, and their plans were to be a part of our league in season 5 or season 6. I remember them coming to the studio. There was representatives of Octa Gaming that came to our studio. There was representatives that came from FaZe. I can guarantee you that there were. But the problem is they were waiting for the league to be more developed. And unfortunately, COVID's going to push some of those things back. So there is a wide interest. And there's organizations right now that are definitely interested in joining the 2K League, but it has to financially make sense. They will eventually be a part of the league, but I don't know necessarily if it will be right now. You guys know all the rumors. I'm going to tell you guys every rumor team that I think might join. You had people talking about Suns Gaming. You had people talking about maybe the Nuggets. Maybe Barcelona joins. Maybe the Team Ducks team joins. Who knows? There was a lot of rumors. But at the end of the day, there's nothing concrete. These are champ rumors, as usual. You know how champ rumors are. It's just like my entertainment board. Everyone thinks I'm wrong. But as I was saying, I think that the impact of no expansion teams we'll see a lot of teams that were good from last year be good again. There's going to be a lot of teams that will come back and be just as good. Obviously, there's a little bit of adjusting to go, and you'll see some players fall down. You'll see some players rise up, but you're going to see a lot of the same when it comes to teams that are successful in this league. Now, for teams that might make a huge jump, I mean, that's all about the draft and trading. There's going to be a lot of moves this offseason that will kind of flip some teams out of playoffs and put some teams in playoffs. It's going to be a freaking crazy offseason. But with this topic, Ye, Joe, is there anything else you guys like to say? I'll go with Ye right here. Ye, is there anything last you want to say, when it comes to expansion teams, if there are none? And actually, if there are expansion teams, what would be the difference?
It is all speculation at this point until they announce anything. But the difference, we have more opportunities for people trying to get jobs, more opportunities for growth and for players to get into the league. That's 6 more spots right there. I mean, that's just the overall. I mean, that's really all I can say about it, really, right now. Because at the end of the day, we still got to wait for announcements, and we have all the rumors in the world about so many teams joining. But until it's on the 2K League Twitter page, man, we just got to rock with what we got.
Yeah, I agree. And Joe, what do you got to say about this?
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I think the biggest part about having expansion teams or things like that announced is what it does to the community. Because once you see an expansion team announced, you see everybody come out the woodworks. I mean, these people haven't even played in months and they think they're going to make the 2K League, but like they're out there like, oh my God, like it gives them energy. They have more confidence, that new vigor, etc. It's worth it. And I think that's the biggest impact of those kind of announcements, because it shows the league's growing. It brings other people in because now, like, oh wow, there are more spots. Because no matter what, even though, like, personally, I feel that the buddy narrative's been really killed. Like, you might have it in little tidbits here and there, but to some people who aren't very invested in the league, that's what they think, because they don't have that information that a lot of us do. And like, I think that having expansion teams, they feel that, okay, it's a new team, they have a shot at making the league. And even if it's one of these players that, like, I get buckets 2, 3, 4, who's not really that great, but they're going to go for it. They're going to try in these ProAm leagues. They're going to try and make content. They're going to try and grow the community, talk about it. And that's how word of mouth gets there. And it continues to grow and prosper. And like, that's the biggest thing for me. That's what I feel is the best part about those expansion announcements or those sort of big name job announcements, whatever it is. It just gets the community excited. in the words of, I guess Will Ferrell, it gets the people going. Like it just,
Oh my god. Joe always has like every reference on the man. This man, like, if you need a reference, he'll pull it out. But anyway, guys, we're in the last 30 seconds. We're about to get ready for the next topic. Last thing I will say about this, guys, I think there's going to be an expansion team, but hey, let's move on to the next topic anyway. We're going to go to the.
Is that a tumor? Is that what?
A tumor, like a champ rumor? Is that what we're going to call it?
Yeah. I don't know. We need. It sounds too much like tumor. We need to come up with something better. Because, it just...
Yeah. We'll get there.
Hey, Cooks, you can't apply to be a scout and then try and draft yourself, bro. That's not how it works out here, Chief.
Oh, Cooks.
But anyway, guys, we are past the 45-minute mark. We're on to our last topic of the night. Like I said, guys, we have been very good tonight. We're jumping from these topics, all right? But the last part is, a topic that, I don't know necessarily if it's a tough topic, but it's talking about possible player retirement. So, obviously, we've had one player ever in 2K League history retire from the 2K League. That is Cooter, a.k.a. I Am Adam First, former NBA 2K League champion on Season 1. Shout out to Yay Not Gaming. He is the only player to ever retire from the 2K League. So, we're hearing a lot of rumors around a lot of people retiring, and when I mean a lot, I mean like some big names. Obviously, one of those names was Mama, actually. Mama has, said personally and also on Periscope before that he has thought about it. And I'm sure every player has thought about it, but we've also, heard this from kind of murmurs around PP Ballin that, that changes a lot for when it comes to retainment too. That might mean that we see, a return of Crown instead of Pete to the Hornets. So if we see that, when it comes to retainment, it's probably possibly that he's retiring. But then we have Jack. Jack, this is one that a lot of people are talking about. This is a very interesting one. This guy, he's basically, becoming one of the faces of the 2K League. He's known as basically one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT, of the 2K League. This guy comes in 2 seasons straight, wins 2 titles, has never not lost or, he's never not made the finals and won. Both his seasons, 2 for 2. Can't ask for anything better. One of the top all-time earners in 2K League history, has one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios. And, he's a guy that is just, his resume is endless. Finals MVP, everything, But Jack, and I've talked to him. He's on the fence with it. He's contemplating it. I don't know what's going to kind of push that forward, whether or not he will do it. I think it's still something he's not sure about, but regardless, and yes, Ruben, BP he said that he may retire unless he was playing PG or if he has a streaming setup. That's his exact words from his tweet. So that is not 100%, but yes, BP is also mentioned in that conversation. But again, like I said, you have a lot of players, big time players that are possibly that could retire. What is your thoughts, Ye, on this? And, again, you had a former teammate who did retire. Obviously you guys kind of had that off season afterwards and then he retired. But, what is the difference? Like, what was the impact you felt like when Kuda retired?
Me and Kuda had the conversation after winning the championship. He was thinking about retiring before season 2, actually. And we convinced him to stay for another season. Mm-hmm. But, which, we didn't have a great season. He didn't have a great season, but at the same time, we shared memories and we still got along really well. One of my better friends in the community. But just speaking on these other guys retiring, you got to understand, like with esports, some of these guys have other goals. Like we always preach that the 2K League should not be the end all be all. Like people have other fulfillments they want to get out of life, other dreams that they have. So if you play a video game for 3 to 4 years, and you play professionally, you're going to start thinking about what's next, and especially when you're pretty young, especially like a guy like Jack, who's pretty young, came and got 2 championships, and he can still go to school. He can still go after something bigger. And same thing with guys like Pete. And like these guys are still young cats, you know. Just 2K League doesn't last forever; it's a year by year thing if you're a player. So I think it's good that they were able to find some time in the league, get great experiences, network, meet a lot of people. You have to live out the dream for NBA organization or even Gen G. Well, we consider it an NBA organization at this point in the league, and got a lot of growth from it. Helped them grow up, and now they go after something else. So I'm proud of these guys that they retire and want to go after something bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Joe, what do you have to say about this?
Honestly, like if you really think about the longevity of an esports career as it is, what is it like? Anywhere between like 3 to 5 years, maybe.
Yep.
Mm.
And I think I'm throwing a ballpark answer out here. So some of these players have already reached that average. You think about, like you said, some of these players came into the league fresh 18, 19. They didn't even go to college, or they haven't, or they left college to do this. Some of them aren't pursuing college in the off season or during the season. So some of them might want to just, okay, like I did this, I checked this off my bucket list. I want to go live. I want to go experience life, because you have to think about it. All right, yeah, living in the 2K League and being a part of this is glamorous, but you're missing out on valuable experiences of life that you'll never get back. And for some of them, that's more important.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them want this as a career, but what happens if you don't make it back? You know, you're screwed. You don't have anything else to fall back on. So like, as far as it's going with potential retirements, I think the league can possibly get out on this to try and help find a way to, okay, figure out like some sort of school system so that some of these younger players can still go to school to work towards their degree or do something, little things like that, so that it'll keep them playing if they really want to. But it's gonna happen. It's just like with life, it's careers. Like, you have thumbs. It's really like your thumbs can give out. You never know. You're just like an athlete. So at the end of the day, it's gonna happen. It's a career. It's a league. And sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat. My apologies. But yeah, like Ruben said it best right here. Like 32K is a great salary until you're 25, making 32K with no future of making more. That's like, and especially like,
Damn.
that's right there. Like, I want to be able to provide for myself. I want to be able to provide for a potential family. I want to be able to get married. I want to be able to move out on my own. I don't want to live at my family's house. I don't want to do any of this stuff. I want to be able to do things. And you see some of these people, some of these players who are making content, finding other ways to support themselves. And as the league continues to grow, they continue to build their brand. They'll have other opportunities, but still, you need to do things. And India, you say 32K in 6 months, but you got to think about this though. Like, what job is going to allow you, like, not many jobs are going to allow you to just have a sabbatical for 6 months every single year,
Mm-hmm.
where they'll let you go. Because if you're there for 6 months, you're not going to get a lucrative career. You're not going to have a job like that where your job is going to look at you, your boss is going to look at you, laugh in your face, and just show you the door. Like, you're going to be working like little bits and pieces, small things. So you have to find ways that's either help them with school so that they can still continue to provide and do this, or help them find ways to build their brand, get themselves bigger. So now that they are people that they can continue to make money, so that 32K flips into, even if it's 64 or something like that, you're already hitting in the ballpark and you're doing things that will keep people in the league, that'll keep people in the community, and that'll keep the 2K League growing for
Mm-hmm.
years on it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Joe. I think you and Ye have hit on some great points. I will say, I think that I think it's important that the 2K League does create a system that favors education when it comes to the league. I know not everyone seeks education. Some people are just looking for, they don't. That college isn't for them, which is fine. But I think we do need to have some type of system that gives these players a chance to be able to experience, whether or not they want to go to a campus or something. And what I mean by that is, I think they need to have some type of system that kind of encourages players to, like, in that 6 months of the off season. Okay, there's certain classes, like for me, obviously you guys know I take nursing classes, so
Not even that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but like, sorry, and just fuck that. But like, what about the key things? What about medical insurance? What about, certain things that you need as a person? Like, it takes sometimes 6 months for you to even qualify for that with a job. So by the time you finish with the league, season, you hop to this other one. Oh, you're not even going to get medical insurance. You're not going to get these certain benefits that you really need, medical, dental, etc., that you need as a person. So this stuff is coming out of pocket unless you're finding other means, because you've already, you making this money, you've already not qualified for your, I guess Obamacare, Medicare, all the different things like that. So you're already in this like weird rut. So they need to find ways to continue to allow to give players benefits or do things to help them. Like the more, I would say, the more benefits, the more love that you show your players and show that, hey, we want to see you succeed and grow, the more people will be loyal to this league, and you won't see as many people retire unless they're completely ass or they're just trying to make up excuses because, oh, I'm retiring now because I know I'm not going to be brought back. But like, that's really there. Like,
that's a hot one right there. But listen, Joe, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think that there's a lot of things as a league that, of course, we can work on. I mean, I think the league does need to have some type of benefits package that does help these players in the off season. Like if you're a retained player in the off season, I think that you should have year-round benefits. I think that's number one. Like if you're technically still representing an NBA organization, I should have benefits. I think that that's obviously something that you have to take up with HR and actually talk about. That's obviously something that they have to, like the players themselves have to kind of engage in and say, hey, like I need benefits in the off season because like I just need, like, that's something like, and like, there does need to be a better retirement player for players too. If they retire, I don't think it's because of the money. Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's a lot of factors, that for retirement, but again, I talked to Lav from the Blazers. He said that, he's not able to buy a house because he doesn't have a yearly income. He only has a 6-month income. When he goes to show his money to when he's buying a house, it's hard because like he has like an income, like this big income for 6 months, and then he has a totally different income in the off season. Not saying he doesn't have a job in the off season, but it's hard. There's a lot of challenges that players are facing because of this 6-month setup. And I know eventually the league will get to a year-round setup eventually, but again, the league has to create a system that's good for retirement. 2, a system that's favoring education that helps these guys go, like if you want to get your education done, you're getting classes done, and then you're able to schedule classes. You need an advisor to basically help you, because like, again, we have 18-year-old kids that don't understand this, or 19-year-old kids that don't understand this and might not even have parents understand it. I was fortunate to have a parent who was very good at this stuff who helped me with everything, but when you're 18 years old, some people don't even know how to apply to college. So I think that if the 2K League, for one, I think it's a great idea to implement just the NCAA in general. Like if these guys become technically NCAA athletes as well, partner, if the 2K League partners with colleges and says, hey, you guys could go to these colleges and get grants, like because you're a 2K League pro. I think that you can go there for 6 months on campus during the winter time, and then in the spring you go to the 2K League and you have online classes. I just think that something like that would, I think would be beneficial to some of these guys, in my opinion. Again, I don't know the exact, setup of it, but this is just, a rough draft, a rough idea of how, an idea of how they can maybe go forward with it. And again, year-round system going back on vacation. I don't know what Ruben's saying. Anyway, what were you saying, Joe?
Year-round. Like, come on, you got to read it. Like, there's an ellipsis there. Like, year-round system. Going back on vacation. Like, he's just saying, like, okay, like, he's laughing at you. But, but we're talking about that, and, like, the union stuff is, like, yeah, them coming together, like, aligning their ass to the league office, like, that's true. They also have to realize that, all right, part of the step is part of that $32K that we're getting paid is going to go towards this union. And then you're going to have some of this other stuff there is... the last thing collegiate esports wants to do is the NCAA get.
I mean, but they just started paying NCAA athletes in general. So, I mean, again, if there's conflicts of interest, then no. But if we can find a way to where it's not like, again, I think that there is a way. It's just about kind of just, etching out the details. And if there's things that as players they don't like with it, then no. Like, it would be something that you'd have to kind of get voted by the players and get their opinions on it. And if they don't want to do that, then they'll do it. But we need to have some type of system for like, so like 2K League players are getting education, so there's life after the 2K League, and it's not like this again. Like you use the term end all be all, it does feel like that because it feels like, okay, if I'm part of the 2K League and then I lose my job, okay, I just went to the 2K League for 6 years and now I have zero. I have zero education. I have zero job experience in anything besides playing, esports. Like, again, can you stay in esports? Yes, but not everyone wants to stay in esports the rest of their life. An esports resume, I'm not saying like it can't take you to other avenues because we've obviously seen guys go out.
Oh, yeah, we're smashing the overtime button.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna smash the overtime on this because this is a very important thing. So we will smash the overtime button, but we won't only go to the latest. We'll go hour 15, but I doubt we'll get that far. But again, I mean, is there something you want to say on this EA a little more? You've been very quiet.
You've been talking, man. I'm just letting you talk.
But again, I'm gonna kind of just wrap it up for me because I can talk for hours. But
no, but I'm just saying, like, hold on, no, like, because Ye was a player at one point. Ye, if you already didn't graduate college, you didn't go to college, and you were coming right out and going into the league, would you going to the league been more of a choice, or would you have been a little bit more hesitant to do it? Like, because you were an older guy coming in, you already had your college degree, you were able to do what you wanted to do because okay, at the end of the day, I had a fallback plan. I have my degree. I can still go find a job after I'm done with this. Like, what was it like for you?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. Like I was in school, I was working a full-time job, and the league came around, and I knew if I got it, it was awesome, and if not, it wasn't no big deal because I was still making decent money. And then once I got in, it was tough in between seasons because we were lucky enough to win a championship, so I didn't have to really have to work after season 1. But after season 2, thinking I was going to get drafted again for season 3, I was fortunate enough to find someone that was hiring me on for 6 months. But that's not always the case for everybody, especially with people without much job experience or don't have a ton of connections, didn't go to school, don't have much to fall back on. That's a totally different conversation. Luckily, I knew a guy who started his own company. He just brought me on for a few monts.
Yeah.
But that's literally like a rare occasion. Like, and I don't even work there anymore. So
yeah.
So it's different for everybody. So it's always good to have a fallback plan, especially with the 2K League. It should not be the end all be all, which we do preach.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I think that when it comes to it, it would be nice too if the 2K League would, find avenues for these guys. Like I think that again, I think there needs to be a lot of advising for these young men coming into esports. I know that it's not necessarily the 2K League's job, men and women. Correction, you're right, men and women coming into this league. I mean, I think that you have a lot of young people who do need some guidance. I think that showing them things that they can do. In this all, whether, again, I think that the league could easily set up a system to where, hey, you can get this type of education and possibly work in the NBA if you do this. You know what I mean? Like, just, go get your degree in this and you can possibly work this position in the NBA. You already know people within the organization who can, in a way help you. Now try to go get a degree that's going to favor you so you can stay within the NBA or industry, because I think that's the biggest thing about the 2K League is the fact that the NBA is involved. So, if the 2K League can grow talent that can eventually work for the NBA, and we've already seen that in certain aspects of things. Obviously Autumn Johnson has her start here in the NBA 2K League, but she's obviously branching out into other things, and that's her own thing. Like, she's great at networking, and that's she's done that herself, and that's kind of what the players have to do themselves. But she's, branching off into things, beyond the 2K League. And we've seen that, Dirk, I think, has done some G League games. Scott Cole. Again, these are bigger positions within the actual NBA 2K League broadcast. But again, if you get your degree, in, again, finance, maybe business or something like that, and then, you come back to the league and try to apply for positions, stuff like that. I mean, and they give you internships or whatever. Like, I just think that there needs to be some type of advising or some type of pathway to doing more than just being an esports player. Okay, Autumn started in the college scene, but all right. Ruben just likes to.
Ruben's trolling.
Ruben's over there with an evil smile, trolling. Okay.
You make it too easy. It's like that picture on Twitter where he had his You know, he's leaning back.
Yes, he's got his feet kicked up like freaking Merc on the stage right now. Freaking.
But no. Like, honestly, I think that India does have a point. He has been on vacation. He has a lot of chilling to do. But I just think overall, like even if it's something like, they're right. The league shouldn't have to do everything. You're over 18. You're a grown ass adult. You know, but if you can help with, okay, here's maybe a course to help you learn how to fill out a FAFSA application, so that if you want to go to college in the off season and do certain things, you can work on it. Or all right, here's this, like, so they have a little bit of that education and understanding, because sometimes the biggest thing is, in my personal opinion, is not knowing. And a lot of people who, let's be quite honest, a lot of people aren't go-getters. They're not going to just Google things and do about things. You feel stuck. You feel scared. You don't know what to do, so you're not going to do anything whatsoever. So if you have a little bit of assistance to help you with that, to help push you there, I think it could help. I mean, I'm not saying that it has to be something to do, but just little things to help, I think could go a long way. But I mean, who knows if the players would even use it in the first place.
But again, is there anything last you guys want to say on this? I mean, we've gone overtime here on ESGN.
Do I need to make a content series on applying for jobs, applying for school?
I mean, you might. I mean, listen. I think that someone needs to show a lot of these young bucks how to do that, because it's not something that's like.
That'd be interesting.
But again, I mean, I think someone should make one about. I think a 2K League player should show how to balance the off season as a 2K League pro. That would be a cool piece of content for someone to show, kind of how, like, you know,
somebody younger.
Yeah, like to show these guys, like, okay, like I'm a professional, but this is what I do in the off season to maintain, to make sure that my life is not just, you know, this, and I'm either you're progressing your future or you're working some type of job to maintain. And that's more of a thing that I think that a lot of the younger guys will look at. And I don't know necessarily how crazy that viewership would be, but that's not what it's about. It's about educating and helping people. But again, I think that's a great video for anybody that's in the league. But Champ said you're the coach of Suns Gaming. Yeah, Universal Phenom. He's the coach of Suns Gaming, man. Congratulations. Anyway, you know, other than the Adam Rubin trolls and all this stuff in the chat right now, is there any questions the chat has that you guys want to kind of say? Champ doesn't know his left ass cheek from his right. Yeah, I don't even know where. Okay. I can't remember if I read that out loud. But
get out of there.
Anyway, listen, let's get that. Let's get everybody boo Universal Phenom for that. You know, get that toxicity out of my chat. Anyway, anything you guys want to say, you know, about any, you know, last remarks that you guys have to say before we sign off here on episode 2 of ESGN Overtime?
No, appreciate you having me, man. Pay attention to the gauntlet. You know, I'll be looking at some of these new cats not on the list, so be looking out for the Yadar.
The Yadar. Hey, man, listen, I think you've been doing a great job. I mean, I have to say the MPBA Gauntlet has not let me down. It's been great games, you know, constantly. Make sure you guys are streaming your games. Upload to YouTube for me, please, please, for the love of God. I know. I'm telling you, if it makes my job, it makes Ye's job easier. I'm telling you, it makes the scout's job easier too. Joe, anything you have to say, you know, before we sign off here on episode 2?
Nah, I mean, it's a pleasure having me as always. We'll see you all at the All-Star game if you're going to be there. We'll have fun. Let's chat. Let's meet up. If the people that I haven't met, for those that I have met already, you know, it's a party. Champ. Champ. Nah, that's my guy. I love him. Don't.
Hey, man.
But yeah.
I'm a fun time, man. What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, so wrap-ups, right? You know, overtime.
But anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody in the chat, all the subs. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone that has been following. Episode 1 of ESGN Overtime will be uploaded to YouTube after this. Episode 2 will be uploaded by next Wednesday. If you guys want to be able to watch this stream earlier, you guys make sure to sub up so you can watch it as early as possible. If not, it will be uploaded next Wednesday on YouTube. Make sure you guys support ESGN on Twitter. Of course, TikTok. You know, TikTok's a great thing, guys. Make sure you support us on there. Make sure you guys follow Yay Not Gaming and DJ Vegas on Twitter. Support all their channels, whether it's YouTube, whatever they got going on. But again, I appreciate you guys. I'm excited for the All-Star game coming up. I'll see my guy Joe Vegas there. A lot of fun coming on this weekend, guys. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys watching episode 2 of ESGN Overtime, the show that's on every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And until next Wednesday, we'll see you then.